Wow, what a match at St. James Park. I'm Hitesh and you're watching Sultan of Soccer. Liverpool beat Newcastle 3-2 in one of the craziest Premier League matches so far in the season. This match had everything. Red card, late drama, and a 16-year-old scoring the winning goal for his club on his competitive debut. Let's dive in. Starting off, we did see Liverpool going up 2-0 with goals from Gravenberch and Ekitiké, and after that came that red card from that rash challenge of Anthony Gordon on Virgil van Dijk just before the halftime, and we saw that Newcastle had to play with 10 men the whole of the second half. In the second half, Newcastle did fight back with goals from Bruno Guimarães as well as Osula to make it 2-2, and then in the 100th minute, 16-year-old Rio comes on and scores the banger in the stoppage time. End result, Liverpool win 3-2 and Newcastle get a undeserved heartbreak. This game had it all. Goals, red card, comeback, as well as a kid writing his name in the history books of the Premier League. From a tactical standpoint, we have seen that Arne Slot's Liverpool has a very systematic build-up play. It's way different these days from Klopp's heavy metal football. Szoboszlai was at right back. He did provide that very creative force that was required, but that did lead to having holes in Liverpool's defense. Salah, we did see, kept on drifting wide so that Ekitiké can make more of those central runs. When substitutions mattered, Liverpool did it to provide the much needed energy towards the end of the match, where we did see Newcastle were hovering all over Liverpool's half. From Newcastle's standpoint, they did go down to 10 men, but Eddie Howe didn't fully park the bus. Instead, we saw quick vertical transitions, Guimarães carrying the ball in the midfield, and Barnes and Elanga stretching the play. From a defensive standpoint, the trio of Portman, Dan Burn and Schär gave all of the best that they could, but we did see them fading away towards the end of the match. Liverpool did show that they can adapt as much as possible, but defensively, they still look very shaky to me. Newcastle, on the other hand, showed resilience even with 10 men and nearly pulled off one of the comebacks of the season. From a key flashpoints perspective, I would say it was Anthony Gordon's red card. I think it was a very stupid challenge. You would see it on his face as soon as the call went to VAR, and he knew at that point that he's going to get a red card. Eventually now happens is Newcastle is going to be without a striker for the next 3 games. They are already struggling to find a new striker in the market, and Anthony Gordon's red card has just made it even more complicated. Not only that, we did see that Sandro Tonali was injured. It also seems like Fabian Schär is not going to be in top shape either after that big challenge that he had. It's going to be a very tough next few games for Newcastle to deal with not only these injuries, but also make sure that somehow they can either convince Alexander Isak to either come back or find a resolution for him. For Liverpool, it was Rio, who now becomes Liverpool's youngest goal scorer at the age of 16. He was very poised in his finish, especially under the kind of pressure he was on the 100th minute. That's the kind of moments the fans are going to remember Rio by at this point. I don't know how to talk about Liverpool at this point, because we've seen Liverpool concede 2 goals in a row. Some people will say that's mentality monster because they just know how to win matches, but for me it's concerning that they just are still defensively shaky. And as an Arsenal fan, to be really honest, I'm happy because that could just be our way of getting maximum points at Anfield next week. Only time will tell. And last but not the least, in my mind, Rio made more impact in those 10 minutes than some strikers do in their entire season. Liverpool did dominate the possession with 62% possession, and they had 14 shots as well as 6 on target. Newcastle, on the other hand, had 38% possession, 9 shots, 3 on target with 10 men most of the game. Liverpool now have won 2 of their 2 games. They're 6 points. They have those 6 points necessary. They are on the same points, just with a difference of goal, but still on the same points as Arsenal and Tottenham. So they're keeping up the pressure. On the other hand, Newcastle had their first league loss, and I don't know how their fans are going to react, to be really honest. Given everything that has already happened in today's match, I think, again, Alexander Isak's saga still looms. Without him, Newcastle just lacked that cutting edge at this point. I think Osula did make an impact, which shows that if they do get the number 9, Newcastle can be a very dangerous side then. They dominate the ball, they dominate the midfield with their physicality. I think Anthony Elanga's addition to the team gives that pace that is required up front. I think they desperately need to figure out their striker situation. From a man of the match perspective, I think I'm going to be biased, but I'm going to give the man of the match to Rio. I think the kid came on, just 16 years old, handled the pressure, won his club the match. Giving him the man of the match, I think, would complete the dream debut. I think, again, from Liverpool's key takeaways, I think they need to figure out their defensive shape as well as their defensive situation. In my mind, more than Alexander Isak, they need to buy a defensive midfielder, because between the games that we have watched already, Liverpool, including even the pre-season, they do look pretty open sometimes when they're trying to attack the opposition. From a Newcastle's perspective, again, I think they can take away a lot of positives. I know it's heartbreak, but for what it's worth, they showed that, when push comes to shove, they can go toe to toe with these bigger teams. Well, that was my reaction to the absolute roller coaster that we know, which is the Premier League. Now it's your turn to tell me, who was your man of the match? Was it the teenage sensation Rio? Was it Gravenberch for his screamer? Was it Guimarães dragging Newcastle back into the match? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I am Hitesh. This is Sultan of Soccer. Smash that like button if you've enjoyed the drama. Subscribe for more fan takes, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.